investigators suspected had happened.
They didn't have enough of that time to actually charge her with the murder.
Instead, they had arrested her for solicitation of murder, based on statements from a pair of petty criminals named Nate and April.
Cheryl Kunkel solicited April and her then boyfriend to kill Benjamin Amato.
However, the pair hadn't killed Ben.
Alleged hitman was in jail at the time when Benjamin Amato was killed, so I think that stumped the authorities because they can only say that we're charging you with trying to hire somebody to commit.
At the time of her arrest, Cheryl claimed that she had been framed.
She tries to explain everything away by blaming April and Nate as being crackheads, being involved in drugs, shouldn't be believed.
And she had spent the past 10 months preparing for her trial.
She puts up enough bond money to get out on jail, so now she's free awaiting these charges of solicitation to commit murder.
However, before her case went to court, another death would change everything. On May 4th, 2004, the mother of 17-year-old Kristen Fisher found her daughter dead in their Greentown, Pennsylvania home.
She came home from work and she found Kristen.
It appeared that the teenager had committed suicide.
A rope was around her neck.
Even more tragic, it looked as if before killing herself, Kristen had drowned her 7-month-old daughter.
The baby was in the bathtub with bathtub filled with water.
Kristen's mother dialed 911, but when investigators arrived at the scene, they immediately had doubts about the murder-suicide scenario.
Because of the slack of the rope, and because it had not been secured properly, there's no way that she actually hanged herself.
It looked like someone was trying to make it appear as though she had killed their baby and taken her own life.
And it didn't take long for the investigators to come up with a suspect, the baby's father, 18-year-old Greg Rowe. According to Kristen's family, Greg hadn't wanted anything to do with the child from the beginning.
He wanted her to have an abortion.
And when Kristen refused and decided to have the baby, Greg had figured that absolved him of any responsibility.
Greg simply did not want to pay child support.
But Kristen had insisted, and she'd taken him to court.
He had a child support hearing coming up in 5 days.
Not only was it a motive for murder, it struck the investigators as strangely familiar. Because Greg Rowe was Cheryl Kunkel's son. A murdered ex, a pending case in family court, and a staged suicide. Was it possible that Greg had followed his mother's example?
You have to wonder, did he think in his mind, can I get away with this too?
The answer appeared to be no, because unlike Cheryl, the investigators quickly amassed plenty of evidence against Greg, starting with the fact that Kristen had told her mother that Greg was coming by that day.
Going to come and visit her and the baby because he had a surprise for them.
And he wasn't bringing presents.
He was seen purchasing some of the things in a store in the area that were found at the murder scene.
Greg's new girlfriend, after she found out that Kristen had been murdered, told the police that he was buying rope, and she asked him what the rope was for, and he said, I'm going to put a clothesline up for my mother. The police checked the rope that hung Kristen and where it came from, and it matched exactly.
A neighbor also placed Greg at the scene of the crime on the day of the murder.
Saw Greg's car and identified the license plate on his car.
And on June 4th, 2004, the authorities arrested Greg for the double murder of Kristen Fisher and her daughter.
I was really shocked because I knew Greg since he was like 11 years old.
By then, his mother was back in jail too.
She had a bail violation because she had tampered with evidence during Greg Rowe's case.
The incident had occurred shortly after the murder, when the investigators attempted to search Greg's car.
They go to his home, where he lives with Cheryl Kunkel, and they tell her, don't go in your garage. because they're about to serve a search warrant on that car, on Gregory Rowe's car, which is in the garage. And Cheryl Kunkel ignores them.
I got to put that on price because my channel is located. And that. And I don't think my video is copyrighted. Let's install this. Oh, that was the best throw. Still good. This tip is. Look at that, guys. Look at that tip. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's going sideways. Gotta get it on straight. That was a good one. Anyway, here's the tip. Okay. Bye guys. See you in a little bit. Peace.